afternoon, Dr. Candace.
Good morning and good afternoon to you. You hear me? Good morning, because it's morning here. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am excellent, as you know, because this is vacation season for me.
I know that's right. You start vacation today.
Yeah, so I am doing excellent, and it looks like you on a vacation because the scenery is great in the back.
Girl, no, well, I'm not on a vacation, just on a day trip. On a day trip
It
today.
looks
So
good. It
just
looks
hanging
good.
out with the family on this. We're going to a religious play
Oh,
today.
I love
And
those.
so, yeah, so that's what we're doing. And so I was like, look, and it was shopping trip before we went, right? And I was like, no, I don't feel like shopping. All I want to do is just chill.
Exactly.
I'm
I
like, I
get
done
it.
did enough. It's like after a while, when you shop enough, you just be like, I'm over shopping for a little bit.
I get
So,
it.
and that's where I'm at. I'm like, mm-mm. Anytime you be on eBay selling your stuff, that's when you know you over shopping.
I know, right? I know. I'm the same way. I'm over it. I shop, so I totally get it when you say that because I do shop. I'm an internet shopper.
Okay.
The only thing that I do different is I grocery shop.
Hmm.
So I grocery shop and I do all the toiletries and I go to Sam's Club and things like that and
Hmm.
Costco. But I am an internet shopper for everything else. I love
Right.
Amazon and yeah, I'm an internet shopper. I am. I don't want to shop. I totally agree with you. I
Girl,
just
Amazon, my friend too. I be on there shopping with them too.
I know. Yes. And what I do have to get is this thing you told me about. It's this cooling thing to go around your neck.
Girl, my it's so hot around here. I need to have my fan on now, and I don't have it on. I
I
left it
said,
on the
I'm
bus.
shocked. You forgot it at home?
No, it's on the bus. My crazy behind left it on the bus. Like a big.
Okay.
I'm like, what was I thinking?
Yes, you need that. Yes, because I want one. I definitely want one. Hey, D, how are you? I definitely want one. So I am just so glad to be on vacation. I have a lot of activities and a lot of good things planned for me for these
Hmm.
18 days. I'm going to sleep and clean my backyard, and I'm doing so many amazing activities. And I
Hmm.
am just blessed. I
I
woke up
know that's right.
I woke up feeling good. I jumped on that prayer line and I
Uh huh.
prayed and fellowshiped and hey, did my yoga. I worked out before I got on here and I'm feeling good. I feel like a weight is lifted off my shoulders
Yeah.
because we work so much. And I cannot imagine working 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, and not having a vacation. At this stage of my life, I couldn't imagine doing that.
Right, right. You know what? And I understand. And it was just like so funny because I've been like, oh my God, I need to start modeling what Dr. Candace does. I'm like, because I love the idea of having off 3 weeks, every 3 months, taking off 3 weeks. And I'm just like, okay, so I got to get myself in a position where I'm able to
Hmm.
do that, right?
Hmm.
But what I did was I said, I've been traveling the past 2 months,
Yeah.
and it seems like the first weekend of every month I've been in Florida. And I said to myself, well, that is, one of my little happy places. So bottom line is, I said, okay, maybe I could try to start going there. And if I don't go there, finding somewhere to go that I can just go and just relax and just,
Yeah.
relax and chill. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that I could get peace of mind for 5 minutes. Because at the end of the day, you feel so refreshed when you have those moments. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Hey D, how are you?
Yes,
Yeah, you just
you
feel
do.
so refreshed when you have that moment. So I get it. So I totally, totally, totally understand
Yes,
your
I
time off.
love it. I love it. I had my calendar out this morning and I literally worked 90 days and then 2 weeks off. 90 days and 2 weeks off. I go hard for those 90 days. I be going so hard. I'm like, my blood pressure up. I go hard, and
I
that's
know
okay
that's right.
because it's 90 days. So I got 90 days to incorporate a lot, and then I rest. I have to.
Mhm.
So I'm happy. I am happy. So I'm just glad to be here today. I really am. We're having a great show. And we have a
Yes.
great topic. And yeah. So with that being said, you ready for the tea with tea?
Yes, y'all. Let me go ahead and. Well, normally we would have tea time with T, but today we having wine slushy time with T. So today, for the tea with today, I was going to talk about it was an issue that came up that I found on Ricky Smiley's Instagram page, where he talked about the question was asked in regards to, okay, everybody knows that Faith Evans and Stevie J are married, right? And so we know they've been having a lot of problems throughout the past couple years with infidelity and, you know, of physical abuse and, you know, things like that or whatever, right? And so apparently Stevie, you know, is allegedly cheating on her again with a wealthy white woman, right? And apparently Faith slid up in her DMs to threaten this woman, to tell her to stop, I guess, seeing Stevie, you know. And it's just like, okay, bottom line is, number one, I love Faith, love Faith. And, you know, I understand sometimes when you know, reconnect with a friend and then all of a sudden the friend turns into a lover. I get that, you know. But with this friend, you know, it was like, you know, we don't know the people that we see on these reality shows, right? All we see is what's on what we see on surface. We don't know what's going on internally and everything. And so when you look at something like that, it's just like, okay, you know, I know we become addicted to love, but at the end of the day, it's like now time to make a decision, you know, based off of everything you see going on. Don't compromise who you are for somebody else. You know what I mean? And that's what this is. You know, she's compromising who she is, you know, and allowing the nonsense and the drama to take over, and that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? In regards to her contacting this woman, that woman ain't got nothing to do with this. Granted, whether the woman knew that she was cheating on, that he was married, right? Mm-hmm. Regardless, you come at him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Granted, we do know people, you know, will continue to do things, right? And say, like, you know, like, even if he did tell the woman, I'm married, leave me alone, blah, 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 you know, now that's a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, we don't know what that situation is, you know. But I just hope, you know, Faith, you know, sits back, reevaluate her situation, sees what she really, really wants, right? Because that's the thing. What we think we want is not always what we want when it comes to relationships.
Absolutely.
And once we identify our wants, our needs, our negotiables and non-negotiables, because see, that's the piece right there. People don't identify none of that when they hook up with these folks. They hook up with them and it's all hell break loose.
But they don't. I totally agree with you. I was so taken aback by that article because Faith was a legend, and it was to so many, especially to our generation of Gen Xers.
Yes.
And she was up there with Mary. Now you look at Mary and Faith now. It's like, what? Because Mary's here. And I'm just so shocked that she married Stevie J. Yes, the heart wants what it wants, and you said it beautifully about love. And sometimes we fall in love because we don't know what we really want, you know, or we think that's what we want. Maybe you think that's what you want, but it's not what you need. Because she's at a certain age and a certain stage in her life. She shouldn't be DMing anyone, DMing whatever, anyone. She shouldn't have to. And if any woman feel they have to, that's a red flag. That's not good. That's not healthy. That don't fit right with me, and I'm pretty sure her other fans as well. It won't fit right with us. It's like, girl, you say he was on a reality TV show at one time facing Jocelyn Hernandez. Good luck with that. And now you married to him? Yeah, she needs to reexamine that. But I still love Faith. I wish her the best, but I really hope she gets this together and check herself on it.
Oh yeah, we definitely wish her the best on this, because we know, you know, that it's a lot, and we know that relationships, you know, but again, when you're addicted to love, you do whatever, right?
Right? Absolutely. Blinded by love.
Mm-hmm. Blinded by love and addicted to love. So you do what you do, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, and that leads us into our topic, but first we're going to hear from one of our sponsors. All right. So that was our sponsor, Dr. Candace, with the yoga benefits.
Yes, and I did my yoga this morning, people. Yoga is amazing. It's not for everyone. If you're not into it, that's cool, but it has changed my life. It calms down the sympathetic nerve system. Hopefully, we will do a topic on the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nerve system. We will do a topic on that because it goes hand to hand with your mental and physical health, and it calms it down, especially when we're hypersensitive in these days and times, with
Yes.
so much going on. And it
Hmm.
calms you to a new level and it gets you in tune with you. Maybe Faith needs to take some yoga so she can reflect on what's really going on because it
Girl,
helps. I'm telling you.
girl.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So our topic today, and I want to welcome everyone. Myself and Dr. Tyra would like to welcome everyone. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Come on,
Yes.
share it. Because today on the Mental Health Minute, we have an amazing topic. We are talking mental health and addiction. And
Yes.
when we say addiction, myself and Dr. Tyra, addiction to everything, not just drugs, but to
Hmm.
shopping, just as earlier in the segment, Dr. T said, yeah, I don't feel like shopping. So we know she ain't addicted to shopping. She says you don't feel like it. You can be
Nope.
addicted to spending your money and shopping, addicted to drugs, addicted to sex, like Dr. T mentioned earlier as well,
Hmm.
addicted to love. It's just addiction. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So
Yeah.
y'all know that I'm the go-to with the statistics because I'm a data girl. I love data.
Yes.
I love facts. I love data and facts. I don't care what it looked like. I erase everything. I've been like that since I was a little girl. And my mom said, "You always battling me." Yeah, because I want to know the fact. I was 5 years old. Saying, but what's the fact? Well, where did you get that from? I was five.
So you was
Saying,
that one that we was like, girl, if you don't go sit down.
I know, right? I know. I was the one in class. People be like, "Oh God, Candace raised her hand," because I
Like when
wanted to
she
know.
put her hand down, like, will you
Yes,
put your hand down? We want to hear that thing.
now, especially in math, because you know how you have to write it out. Because some people can do mental math. I'm gonna
Right.
digress for a minute. I'm a pivot. Some people can do mental math, but I was the one in class. No, show the problem, write it out. I want to see how you get that, teacher. I want to know. My favorite teacher was Miss Davis. I wanted to know how you get there. And the class was like, Candace, the bell about to ring. Do we really care?
Right.
Because I'm the fat girl. So, like I stated, everyone, I just wanted to pivot to tell you that why I always go to data. That's probably why I became a doctor as well. I love data because our
Hmm.
bodies can look like one thing, and our mental state can look another, or our thoughts and emotions, but our behavior is another thing. So I always go to the data. And with myself and Dr. Tyra, as being psychologists and therapists, we go to the data. Your behavior is your data. Okay, so for everybody that's watching and they wonder, well, what they got to do with you and Dr. T? Because we look at your data. Your data is your behavior. You tell myself and Dr. Tyra, yes, I wanted to get it together, Dr. T. I'm here. I want you to help me with anger. For instance, she is an anger specialist. She specializes in anger management, for instance. And someone come to her and say, I want you to help me with anger. So Dr. T has been working with you for maybe 90 days. She hasn't seen improvement because she charts and write things down. Your behavior and what you are telling her is the data. You are telling her, yep, I'm doing my life work, which is really homework. I'm studying, I'm doing the book you taught me, but your behavior, which is your data, has told Dr. T, you ain't did nothing. You ain't improving in no way. So that's our data, okay? Just as you go to your physician, your primary care, your data is when we do your vitals and your blood work. Your data say your high blood pressure up, but you saying you taking your pills and exercising. Your data say you ain't doing nothing. Your data say we change that medication because obviously you still eating bad and not taking care of yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about just a little bit today when we talk about mental health and addiction. And I just want to bring some data to you today about mental health and addiction. Do you know, everyone, 1 out of 3 individuals, 1 out of 3 people, a group of people, a group of three, 1 out of that 3 is battling with not just mental health issues, but addiction. That is data that we have all gathered together, myself, other clinicians and stuff. That's part of it. And another part is out of 4 people, 5 out of 4 people will seek help before they start to go into an addiction or something because they know they triggers. They're like, well, so you have 5 people, but 4 out of that 5 will say, I don't want to pick up something else because before it becomes an addiction, it becomes a habit. But before it becomes a habit, it becomes a little comfort zone or something you think you can control. Those you go to those things because you think you can control them. So I just want to give you a little back on what we're talking about today with mental health and addiction. So I want to go to my questions before we get into some of that. So Dr. T, you know I always come in with the questions and we want to talk about first, before we get to the questions, what is addiction? Dr. T, would you like to tell the people what's addiction? Can you hear me? Oh, you're on mute.
Okay, so
Okay.
everybody, that what addiction is the fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity, right? So the thing, so basically, that's the true definition of what addiction is, right? Now, when people are addicted, what addiction also is a chronic dysfunction of the brain that involves reward, motivation, and memory. Okay, and it's about the way your body craves a substance or behavior, especially it causes a an obsessive compulsive type of pursuit of a reward and lack of concern over consequences, right? So when you look at the signs of, we're going to go with I'm gonna say, I was gonna do an addiction, but I'm gonna do the five top type. I'm gonna do five behavioral addictions, right? So, because the addiction can be broken down into numerous areas. And so the behavioral addictions that we know about is food addiction, sex addiction, internet addiction, pornography addiction, the use of computers and or cell phones and tablets, right? We also going to do video game addiction, work addiction, and exercise addiction, right? And some people won't think that they can be addicted to these behaviors, because some of the behaviors that's listed here is a part of the norm, right? But guess what? You can be. You know what I mean? And like when I think of the list that I just provided to all of you, the number one addiction out of all of those, in my opinion, is exercise. Exercise number one, and work is number two, right? And then number three, I'm going to put cell phone, tablets, and computer, because that goes. I'm grouping that along with social media, right? And the reason I'm putting that in I'm gonna say my top five. I'm putting those in my top five because number one, when people decide, okay, so when a person starts losing weight, right? Because I know a number of people who lost a lot of weight, right? Um, when they see the first sign of the weight coming off, they go harder than they ever went before, and they go so hard to the point it's just like, okay, slow down. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they feel like they doing it right. Oh, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. And they don't really understand. And I'm like, yo, you need to talk to a doctor. Make sure that you're healthy. Make sure that you have it all together. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, is more to it. And that's when we say you have to start seeking help for these types of behaviors. Now work addiction, I'm not gonna say we all, because everybody don't like to work.
You're absolutely right. Everybody, I'm looking at Dr. T like, work addiction. Girl, I know some people that ain't got no job.
Wait a minute, don't have one and don't want one.
Right? I'm like, work addiction, especially during this pandemic.
So I'm gonna say addicted to staying home.
Yes. Procrastination is an addiction.
But you know what? But that is an addiction.
You're
You know what I
right.
mean? Because okay, I'm gonna hit you with don't judge me. Don't be mad at me, y'all. Because some people is addicted to lateness. They have time management issues. That's a problem.
Yes,
And my thing is, I get sick of hearing about people's time management issues, because my thing is, get your shit together.
that's
That's
right.
the issue. That's what you need to work on.
That's right. You're absolutely right. You're right. Now, Dr. T's, hers, she's absolutely on point, everyone. I wrote them down. She is on point. Those are her top five. My top five within what I have seen within my practice and at the clinic is food, number one addiction. Food and internet, porn, She's absolutely right with work and video game because, especially with work, people will pour themselves into their work or into their career for several things. One, they need the money, so they just like, I'm doing the money. I'm doing it. I'm just gonna keep. I'm gonna work overtime. Work overtime. But then they don't know. Y'all do know it's such thing as called FICA. I mean, not FICA, but what's his face to take all the money. I'm thinking about credit score now, but you got the taxes. They taking all that, right? So that's one. So people will work and work and work, to accumulate more money. Then a lot of people work and pour themselves into their job as a beautiful, they call it distraction from getting their stuff together and doing what they really supposed to do. I see a lot of that within my practice. They pour themselves into work because they are ignoring something else, especially if you are a couple. A man most likely will pour himself into work to ignore the issue at home with his wife. A lot of people, married couples, pour themselves into work to ignore the marital issues or other issues they have going on.
Or
So, but
stay at the club,
yeah,
stay at the local bar, the
yes,
club, or anywhere but
absolutely.
go home.
Everything but go home. They pour themselves into everything. Absolutely. So she is absolutely right about the definition of addiction and the top ones that we see within our career, like porn and internet is definitely an addiction. If you grab your phone when you first wake up before you even wash your face and brush your teeth and go to the toilet, that's an addiction. Especially if you done that, you have done that, did that behavior every day. Something's wrong. So it's okay to unplug. It's okay to say, yeah, I'm good. Because I scroll and I post and stuff, so I get it. But then it's okay to put the phone down because everybody don't want to know what you got going on, and everybody don't need to know what you have going on. So with that being said, that's the addiction. Absolutely. So let's get into these questions. So these questions are some good questions. I got three because we're gonna go just a little deep. We're gonna go deep enough where it's really good. So, Dr. C, in your professional opinion, which we always admire, ask, and respect, your professional opinion, do you see more people finding or going toward addiction to replace what? In your professional opinion, within your career, within your practice, people are more addicted to what? To what? Like what do you see more of in your perfection, in your profession
I'm gonna
every day?
say, I'm gonna say a lot of people are more in my profession. I'm seeing more people addicted to social media, right? Social media and the usage of cell phones, whether it's virtual games and things like that. I see that addiction more, and the reason I think they are trying to escape their reality of what's going on, right? They look at when they go on social media, they're able to look at other people's reality and put themselves in their world. And so when they put themselves in their world, it's just like, okay, I'm able to forget about what's going on the other side or what's happening in my own life. And so that's what I see more of within my practice, more of that.
Okay. Absolutely. For me, I see that as well. And I also see procrastination. I see a lot of procrastination within my practice. I see a lot of neglect. I don't know if the audience know, but y'all gonna learn today on the Mental Health Minute. Neglect can be also addiction, and that means neglect of self. I'm talking about neglect of self. People neglect their self. I see a lot of self sabotaging. I see a lot of fear. Fear can be an addiction as well. You can have that fear and don't want to move, don't want to do anything. So I see a lot of that. And at the end, we're going to give some tips and tools on just how you can maneuver out of that. But that's what I see. My next question is: can someone be addicted? If someone is addicted to something, whether it be drugs, sex, porn, shopping. Can that taint or cause? Can that taint their mental health? And or can it cause a mental illness? Because mental health and mental illness, which everyone has learned on the Mental Health Minute, or if y'all was taking notes, should have, that is two different things. Mental health and mental illness are two different things. So I'm asking Dr. Tyra that someone that has an addiction to whatever it may be, can that taint their mental health or can it cause a mental illness?
I think it can do both. I think it does. It can taint their mental health because if they already had an issue had something going on within their mental health, I think that it could basically heighten it to create a new mental health issue within themselves. You know what I mean? I think, because I've seen it happen to a number of individuals where they've had, mental health and it was under control. However, they were doing other behaviors that was addictive, that was now creating a mental illness. So I'm going to say it's a 50-50, and bottom line is it's all up to the individual and how they handle things, because, everybody handles situations different. So it's totally up to the individual and how they relate and if they got that support system.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. It is up to the individual. And I do think it can taint your mental health because anytime you are addicted to something, just as Dr. Tyra explained in the beginning of the segment, when she explained what addiction is, and she stated, she mentioned that it does something to the brain. Absolutely. Your dopamine levels are high. That is an endorphin, and we all have that. So our dopamine levels, y'all know I'm about to go to the brain. I'm about to get it. Here we go. Okay, so this is the brain. I hope everyone can see that. So you have your dopamine levels. Let's go to this pink area right here. And it's called the reward system. That's where your dopamine levels are located. When you do something or accomplish something, you clapping for yourself, but in here, in your brain, you like, yay, I did it, and you feel you can do it again. That's something such as going on running a marathon or a 5 mile marathon, 10 mile. You get that runner's high. Even being on the treadmill, you get something. You're running, then you get tired, and then you get that momentum and you start back up, and it's called the runner's high. We tend to get that, and that's when our dopamine levels go like that, and we're like, oh, we could do it again. We reward ourselves even for the bad things. That is where drugs come in. So this little section right here, when the brain doesn't know the difference between good and bad, it actually doesn't. So when someone is taking heroin, for instance, or crack cocaine, they're like their dopamine levels raise and they feel good. That reward system is sky high. So they're like, I can do that again. And they chasing that high. When someone is doing good on their job, their reward levels are high. And they're like, I'm gonna do good again, or I'm gonna get good grades, or I'm gonna do this. So because the brain doesn't know the difference. Okay. So that is what Dr. T explained earlier about the dopamine levels. So with that being said, she is absolutely correct that it is up to the individual. However, once it become an addiction, we as clinicians start to label it. Sometimes it depends on how depth it is as a disease. Because once it start targeting here, and now you have to do whatever it is and you feel in order to breathe, it's a disease now. So that's what I wanted y'all to learn here today on the Mental Health Minute. It becomes something that you go to and a distraction from something else. Because people don't just pick up something and just say, I'm just going to do it because this is fun, especially drugs, unhealthy addictions. Because you have some things that are not unhealthy, like exercise, as Dr. T mentioned earlier. She said, I see in my career, in my practice, a lot of people have become addicted to exercise. Absolutely. But see, exercise is a good thing. You're moving your body, it's good for your mental health. But too much anything can make you sick, people. You heard that on Mental Health Minute. Too much chocolate cake can make you sick. Too much damn cake can make you sick. Too much money can make you sick. Actually, it can. So, too much. So, remember that too much of anything can be detrimental to your physical and mental health. So, that's why she stated exercise can be an addiction because it can weigh turmoil. I mean, it can be bad for your mental and physical health if you're overdoing it, especially with the dopamine levels. It become an addiction. And now you feel that's what you have to do in order to breathe. Okay. So she's absolutely right on that. I totally agree. My next question is, what is the number one addiction you see in your practice? You mentioned workout, but what is it besides the workout that you see and that you feel it's just so hard for people to overcome? Is it drugs,
social media?
social media? Can you explain?
So with social media addiction, a lot of people feel like they have to be on social media all the time. So that's number one. Number two, they're concerned about the number of likes that they receive. Who's liking my post? What are they saying about my post? What can I do? I need to be able to change, I need to be able to change my appearance. I need to be able to change my lifestyle. I need to do what everybody else is doing. And so when you have that type of addiction, that causes a whole slew of other problems. And that's, what I see a lot of. So it's like basically working with people and creating a whole new time management program, time management plan with them so that they can have their time itemized out when it comes to the things that they do. Because at the end of the day, it's all about having a productive life, a healthy and productive life, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. And she's absolutely right. Um, with that being said, she says social media, and she's absolutely right. There is a such thing as an addictive personality as well, and we're going to talk about that. But however, I did my data, I did my research. There I go again. Y'all know me. Did y'all know that 69% of men are more likely to have an addictive personality than women? I said, get out of here. That study came out last year. Yeah, so I'm not going to, every time I bring you a study, people, I want y'all to know this on the Mental Health Minute. It's always 5 years to present. I'm not going to bring you anything back in the day. Mine's always current. But yes, 69% of men are more likely to have an addictive personality than women. And another study that I found that women are more likely to be addicted to love or being in love, the notion of love, being around it, feeling love, being with someone than men. 73%. We will be with a man, don't even love him, ladies. We don't love him. We don't even want to be bothered with him.
It's just the whole idea of being with somebody.
Yes. Yes,
I don't want to be alone, so I'll be with anybody.
Can you believe that?
I believe it. I think I know half the people that do it.
Yes. She said, I know the numbers are so high. I said, what? I mean, because of course I knew that. I wasn't shocked by women being more prone to, I want love because I'm a woman. I want love as well. Absolutely. So I'm married. I'm like, I want love. I want to feel that. I'm the wife. I'm the worst girlfriend ever. I think I told y'all that. I am the worst girlfriend on the history of the planet. But wife, yeah. Girlfriend, no. However, I get it. I get that. So those numbers are really high. And she is right about that. So, with that being said, addiction personality. Do you see a lot of that, Dr. T, within your practice?
What, people who have addictive personalities?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I do. Because the thing is, some people just, how can I put it? Others just gravitate to them because of their mannerisms, how they treat people, because they can be very charismatic, and I can see where people gravitate to them because they know what to say, how to say it, they know what to do and how to do it. And that's what gets the people, that right there is, comes with the laws of attraction. And where
Mm-hmm.
people is totally attracted to the individual based off of that.
Got it. I totally understand. You're right about that. You're right. Now, my last question. Do you think, because what is your professional opinion when someone is using hard drugs? Because I don't know if you know this, people, but you will learn this again on the Mental Health Minute. There's a such diaphragm that myself, other clinicians, all doctors, drug specialists, we use. You have hard drugs, you got soft drugs. Dr. T is aware of this as well. And caffeine, you have hard, soft, and you got in the middle. Did y'all know caffeine was in the middle? Caffeine is not even a soft drug, it's in the middle. I said, oh my God, I was kind of shocked by that because I'm a coffee drinker. But there you go. And keratin and different stuff like that. That's in the middle. So, with that being said, someone that does hard drugs, have you experienced in your profession someone that has taken hard drugs has developed a severe mental illness?
I have seen where people have used hard drugs and have severe mental illness, yes, and they have been diagnosed with like bipolar mood disorder based on it. It's like, as a clinician, I mean, I know we are not saviors, and I just always hope and pray that we could, help turn their situation around, But at the end of the day, it's just, helping them find ways to create a more healthier lifestyle for them, and so that they don't have any type of relapse, right? Because of the drugs that they were taking that caused them to get to this level. And it's like, and it hurts, when you're working with someone and you see how hard they're fighting it. You know what I mean? They're fighting, wanting to be back to their normal self. You know what I mean? So, but I have seen that. I've seen it in my personal life as well as in my professional life. So
Absolutely. I totally agree with Dr. Tyra. I have seen it in my professional and personal life has hit home because my loved one, someone that's very, very close to me, absolutely have taken hard drugs and has developed schizophrenia from that. So that, and it can happen because people, you will learn again on the Mental Health Minute, when you take hard drugs, and some of the hard drugs is heroin, meth, meth, cocaine, nicotine is a hard drug. So nicotine and heroin and morphine and cocaine and other habituates, those are hard drugs. When you take a hard drug, it alters our brain waves. We have a lot of receptors up there. They're connected. Receptors look like my locks that are connected to the brain, and they alter those, or sometimes they snap off, or they're altered. And when I say snap off, I mean literally snap off. And with a hard drug, you can develop, and it can really taint your mental health to where it can turn into a mental illness, because that is where it starts. And that's how he developed shooting up heroin and schizophrenia came. So that can happen. Then you have your medium in the middle, which is the MDMA, your caffeine, your ketamine. That is the middle drugs. I didn't know caffeine. I just learned that when I saw that data is a middle drug. Then which can also alter, because caffeine, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that will watch this, and I don't know, are you a coffee drinker, Dr. T? Okay, good.
I kicked that habit. I used to drink coffee when I was an infant. I'm done with coffee. I don't
Okay.
like. I may drink a frappuccino every now and then or a mocha latte or something, maybe once every 3 to 6 months or so.
Oh,
Once
that's
every 3 to 6
awesome.
months, like I'm not into it at all. So
That's awesome. I am so proud of her because guess what? I have a half a cup every morning. I have a half a cup. I never drink the whole cup, and I only have one cup. I don't do two and iced coffee. I don't do none of that. Mm-mm. And I drink good coffee, really good coffee. I don't drink I watch what I drink. I watch what I put in my body. However, it's still not, as nutritious as it should be. However, it is a medium drug, and it can alter how we feel. So everyone, I want y'all to know that it can alter how we feel, and it can alter our behavior and alter our brain receptors as well. Because any coffee drinker would know, if you stop drinking coffee, guess what? You're gonna get a caffeine headache, and it can alter your mood. Now you on edge and you at work with an attitude, and they're looking at you like you need to go have some damn coffee. There you go. That's an addiction. So that's a medium drug. Your soft drug, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Cannabis. Can you believe weed is a soft drug? Weed is softer than caffeine and nicotine. Weed, LSD.
I can believe it because coffee is cheaper to get than weed.
Yes, yes. Besides the coffee I drink, my coffee is $30. And it's about this big. So it's $30. Yeah. So my coffee expensive. And that's on sale for $30. Yeah. Yeah. So absolutely. So she's right. But cannabis, LSD are soft drugs. And I know why they're soft after doing my data, doing my research on it, because even though it's a hallucinant, sometimes it depends on with the cannabis and the strand. However, it's mellow. Anything that mellow you out. All the middle and the hard drugs that I described, they have you painting your neighbor's house and frying chicken and watching people kids. You be like, I can do it all. Yes, you can do it all with those. But with the other ones, with the LSD and the cannabis and the weed and the gummies, they have you mellowed out like, no, I'm chilling. I ain't never seen nobody like rob a whole bunch of people because they was high on weed. They like, no, I'm listening to music. Y'all need to stop that. They very mellowed out. You don't want to do that. So on a lighter note, that's what we wanted to tell y'all today. Absolutely, D. It's a soft drug. With that data,
Very
I was
soft.
really surprised to see that. I
Yep.
was. Yeah. So And I was surprised to see the numbers too with the personality disorder, because in our DSM-5 that I looked up, there is people, with the personality disorder, how it taint our mental health and it alters our brain.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, Dr. T, with all that being said, what do you recommend for people? What steps do you recommend? Steps, tools, any tips that you can give to recommend if they have an addiction, addictive personality, or if they're battling addiction, and what they can do so they won't compromise their mental health, or if they already are compromising their mental health. What tips and tools do you have?
Okay. So one tip I would say is number one, take it slow. You know what I mean? Take it slow. Be able to identify, look at what you're doing, and just be mindful of the things that you are doing, right? And it's how it's affecting you, right? The other thing I would say is, identify your triggers. Be able to change your environment. You know, accept the past and leave the past in the past, right? Know that anyone can stop an addiction, and you can stop an addiction now. You know, the thing is, being able to say, okay, I need to accept help and be receptive of the help when help comes for you. And that's some tips that I would give for that. We know it's not easy. We know it's not easy, but at the end of the day, everybody, one thing I can say, one thing we have to do is be able to retrain our brain. And it's okay, that we retrain our brain, because at the end of the day, you want to try to get yourself some relaxation strategies. We want you to be able to conserve your mental energy, right? And just focus on positive. You know what I mean? We want you to definitely focus on the positive, be able to restore your mental energy by getting sleep. That's some other tips. Look, I'm just coming off the top of my head, and be able to, relieve yourself and reduce yourself from temptations. And once you do all that, it's basically freeing and allowing yourself to say, okay, I'm okay and I
Absolutely.
can do this. Okay.
Beautifully said. Absolutely. I totally agree with Dr. Tyra and Dr. T. I mean, and D said, it says, I smell it everywhere like a skunk. Yeah, she's talking about the weed.
That
Absolutely.
the
But
weed,
it's
oh my gosh,
off.
it's horrible.
Yeah, what kind of strand they got? Because I smell something that smell good, then I smell something that smell bad.
Let me tell you, I don't know, but I heard the other week I was on this thing, the app called Neighborhood. I don't know if any of y'all are on Neighborhood app, but somebody had reported that the neighbor was using something, and the smell came into her home, and all of a sudden she ended up in the ER.
Get out.
So I will say is, one thing I will say is they did away with masks. Like everybody is now going maskless. At this point, if you feel like you might be compromised in any kind of way, put your mask back on. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Especially, and the sad part about it is this was in this individual's home.
Yes.
You
Not
know,
even
so
fixing your home.
yeah, it's and that shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have to wear a mask in your own damn house just because you're afraid of what your neighbors is doing. But
Exactly.
again, just be careful.
Exactly. Be careful. Absolutely. I totally agree with Dr. T's tips and what we do here on the Mental Health Minute. We bring you the why, the what, and the how to cope. And I totally agree with her when she said, uh, take your time and know your triggers. So that's number one. Take your time with yourself. Slow moving is still moving. Know your triggers and also be honest and be ready when it's time to get help. If you are addicted to something, whether it be drugs, whether it be the internet, whether it be your phone, social media, food, sex, working out, addicted on something that's unhealthy or something that is healthy, but you has pivot over into addiction, get help. Get help, but you must be honest. And if you're going to get help, do it for yourself. Don't do it for friends and family, and don't do it for your kids. Do it for yourself. That way you'll stick to it. When we do something for others, we tend to fall off because we wasn't ready in the first place. So do it for yourself. And another one, like she said, learn your triggers and take your time. Absolutely. So those were my tips. Absolutely. So this was a great show.
Awesome,
And
awesome show.
awesome. It was awesome. Yeah. So what's your last word, Dr. T? Because this was an amazing show.
My last word is for everybody just to take it easy. Be safe.
Yeah,
Again, be able to, learn how to retrain your brain. You have me, myself, you have Dr. Candace available. You can
that's right.
definitely reach out to us, contact us on our DM, go through our website. You can even send us a message here on YouTube to let us know what your thoughts are, or if you have any, or leave a message in the comments for us to be able to contact everybody. And I know y'all like, I see all these people walking in your background. D, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. I'm actually in Lancaster, Pennsylvania today because I'm actually headed over to Sight and Sound in a few minutes.
Yes. Yes.
So that's my last words.
Yes. And my last word is
What's your last words,
absolutely
Dr. Candace?
She's absolutely right. Be safe, take care of yourself. And as you learned today, addiction go hand in hand with mental health. It either can taint your mental health because there are three parts to your mental health: good, fair, and bad. And if you are addicted to anything, it can taint your mental health and it can turn into a mental illness if you do not seek help. And now I'm not saying it can always turn, but it may can turn into a mental illness. So my last word is take care of your mental health before you be taking care of your mental illness. Okay. So I wish good mental health on everyone. And I am Dr. Candace Elaine, and that is my beautiful co-host, Dr. Tyra. And this is the Mental Health Minute.
Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We will see you in a week.
Yes.